Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international conference. Before we start our sessions, we request everyone to quickly fill the registration form, which has been shared in the form of polls in Zoom platform to mark your attendance for the day. Those who are waiting for their presentations, those who have registered for presentations, are kindly requested to share their details in the chat box as shown in the screen. So that we can invite you one by one as per the order in the chat box. Presenters, kindly share your details in the chat box, indicating your presence and preparedness for the presentation. We'll be inviting you. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Conference on Animal Veterinary Medical Health Sciences, Well-being, Rights, Advocacy, Protection, Conservation, Environment, Ecosystems, Disaster Management, Rehabilitation, and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Well-being, and also international and national fraternity. Today, on occasion of World Animal Day 2024, World Animal Week 2024, and also World Animal Month 2024, which is celebrated in October 2024, we are organizing this international conference based on the theme for the 2024 World Animal Day, raising the status of animals to improve welfare standards around the globe. And we have invited presentations and participation on various topics, including animal veterinary medical health sciences, animal well-being, animal rights, animal laws, animal acts, animal rules and regulations, animal advocacy, animal protection, animal conservation, environment, ecosystems, nature, flora and fauna, these plants and animals, forests, pet animals, wildlife animals, and farm animals, animal assisted interventions, animal assisted therapies, service animals, guide animals, disaster management, rescues, habitats, zoos and various national parks, rehabilitation of animals, animal welfare organizations, and various societies of prevention of cruelty against animals, and NGOs working in animal welfare, and any other topic related to the above themes, and also towards sustainable development. So the presenters are invited to register themselves through the Google registration form, which is same for the participants. Once they register, they have to share their presentation and details and join the conference at 6 o'clock, and let us and through that message in the chat box bring to the notice of organizers that they are available and ready for the presentation. As per the order, when the presentation session starts, presenters will be invited one by one. So these are the instructions. We request everyone to register through the Google form, which has been shared in chat box and through which you have joined this meeting. And to mark your attendance, this will be organized from 26th of October 2024, that is from today, Saturday, till 29th October 2024, till Tuesday for 4 days. And daily, the joining link will be the same. And daily, every day, we are starting at 6 o'clock, which will be open for the registration. It only that will be registration form and feedback form will be only accessible in Zoom platform. Those who are attending in Zoom can only fill and submit the registration form and feedback form so that you can mark your attendance for the day. So each day you need to mark your attendance so that you can get certificates for the 4 days. If you are unable to attend all the 4 days, whichever day you are attending, you will be issued certificate based on completion of formalities before closure of conference. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form at the end of the session and also registration form at the beginning of session, which is active now in the form of polls. Once the registration form is closed, it cannot be opened, and feedback form will be open after closing the registration form at the end of all the sessions. So hope the instructions are clear. And regarding any other details, you can visit the links which are visible on the screen. And also the links have been shared in the chat box, or you can visit website. Any queries related to certificates and all will be taking up at the end of all sessions. We request all the information is available on the website. You can read, go through it. And presenters are also requested to go through the presentation guidelines so that the sessions are conducted smoothly and all the participants and presenters videos and audio will be muted, and when the question and answer sessions are invited, you can raise your hand or you can use chat box to share your queries, suggestions, feedback in the chat box for each session, or whenever there is a session, any observation, feedback, you can continue to share in the chat box. And chat box is limited to everyone, and the messages will be only received by the host, so others will not get disturbed by the chat messages. So you can feel free to share your queries, suggestions, feedback. Feel free to use your chat box for sharing. So if any speakers, presenters are there, you can share your details in the chat box. We will do today's commemorations, and then after that, we'll be inviting the presentations. So before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty. Hope all the instructions are clear. If you have any clarifications, still you can visit the website and read for yourself or ask at the end of the sessions.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. World Animal Day 2024 is celebrated every year on 4th October 2024, raising the status of animals to improve welfare standards around the globe, which is the theme for the World Animal Day 2024. So World Animal Day unites the animal welfare movement, mobilizing it into a global force to make the world a better place for all animals. Each one of us can make a difference together. We make change. So be part of something special and be voice for the voiceless. So today, we are commemorating and celebrating this World Animal Day. Yeah. So global animal protection, which is a critical issue that many fight for and face daily. World Animal Day helps bring people together to increase awareness and improve education worldwide so animals can live the lives they deserve. Now, as already informed, World Animal Day is celebrated annually on October 4th, and World Animal Month is celebrated for the entire month of October every year. So, this year we are celebrating World Animal Month in October 2024. So, you may also have heard about World Animal Day, sometimes referred to as World Animal Welfare Day or World Animal Protection Day, which is also an annual event on the 4th October, celebrating animal rights and welfare across the globe. It is an important day and has been marked since 1925, with a growing international community striving to end the needless suffering of all animals. By increasing the awareness and improving education worldwide, those involved are helping to create space recognizing wild and farm animals as sentient beings with thoughts, feelings, and individual personalities. Their animal welfare practices and treatment must be must reflect this. With its international reach, many people around the world celebrate World Animal Day in different ways. Business and individuals give a voice to animals by celebrating World Animal Day in various ways, whether that's enough or that's through a fundraising event for charities supporting protection efforts, a goods that is in kind donation drive or educational sessions, awareness sessions. There are so many options for everyone to get involved. So World Animal Day was first celebrated on 24th March 1925 in Germany. It was started by Heinrich Zimmermann, a sinologist who organized the first celebration at the Sports Palace in Berlin, which was reportedly attended by over 5,000 people. So, World Animal Day is celebrated yearly on October 4th to align with the feast day of Saint Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of ecology and animals. So that was a reason, though it was first celebrated on 24th March 1925. It was later shifted to October 4th, and since then it is celebrated every year on October 4th. So, building the celebration and awareness of World Animal Day mobilizes people globally for the action, which makes a better future for animals. And there are various animal days also celebrated, like at World Animal Protection. We love any excuse to celebrate animals. So there are some official and unofficial Animal Awareness Day observed around the world, nationally, internationally, and locally. And every nation has their own days. And especially in India, where animals are also treated as family members, as gods in the form of vehicles, or even animal itself is treated as a representation of God, like cows as Gomata, the mother, and even various elephants are also like Lord Ganesha representation, and various animals, trees, plants are also treated at par with divinity imbibed in it, so that they are protected, they are conserved, and their welfare is also taken part of the welfare of human beings, along with it, the environment and nature. Because every species has a role to play in the ecosystem on the planet, and extinction of one or more species can create an imbalance in the ecosystems, and which will not be able to replace by any other species. So loss of any such species will have an impact on the entire ecosystem. Based on that impact, there might be the deficiency which may not be fulfilled by any other species. That's why it is important. Based on the cultures, every culture has unique way to protect themselves, and also along with them the flora and fauna, that is plants and animals, and cultures like Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma as such has imbibed divinity into everything, into the living and non-living, into the animals, birds, and plants, so that they are protected from abuse, from killing, poaching, from animal abuse, from animal cruelty, and so on. Because once you know they are divine, once you know they are representation of God, divine power, so you protect them, you conserve them, you promote them, you take care of them. That's why even the greatest concept, especially in Sanatana Dharma, especially in India only, you see, people worship rivers also, because without water, no one can survive. Today we can see the plight of people, even in rural, semi-urban, urban, and metro cities. How much people are struggling for drinking water. That's why they have realized, our great ancestors have realized that even our historians are very much evident and gave a lot of evidences that our civilization started from the river banks, where rivers have been flowing continuously. Even today, we have Indus Valley civilization, which is the oldest civilization, and we see Ganges, Saraswati, Brahmaputra, and various other rivers which are still alive since thousands and thousands of years, which is essential for our survival, not our in the sense not just human beings, but for the entire species. Why these resources were protected, promoted? Because our ancestors have thought of sustainable development. Sustainable development is a development that focuses on not just the needs of present generation, but also the needs of future generation, along with protection and conservation of various other species, nature, environment, and overall planet, so that the ecosystems are not disturbed. There is minimal impact on the planet and all its living and non-living beings. But unfortunately, with the modern science, more and more technologies being brought in and have been misutilized for abuse of natural resources. Today, we are facing human-made disasters. Today, we are facing extinction, endangerment of various birds, animals, plants, trees, and various species that is creating a huge impact on diseases, the kind of diseases, disorders, and the kind of damage, disasters it is creating. Because of lack of that, and also due to improper use of genetic engineering and genetically modified foods, plants, animals, and all, new diseases are emerging through the interaction of human, plant, and animal within the environment. Exposure to zoonotic diseases by eating meat products. Humans are exposed to zoonotic diseases like all the pandemics, endemics, epidemics which have been caused till now, including the recent COVID-19, are because of zoonotic diseases. That is, the interaction of human beings with the wildlife. Because we are killing them, we are eating them. That's the reason we are also contracting dangerous viruses, bacteria, and various other creatures which are also harmful to human beings. Every species has natural protection mechanism, and every species, including human beings, animals, plants, have own beneficial bacteria, viruses, and also harmful bacteria and viruses, and various other pathogens which help in their development. Initial stages and their later stages of life, certain bacteria and microorganisms, viruses, help in the development, and later, when the life cycle ends for the organism, it helps some viruses, microorganisms, help to decompose the dead bodies or corpuscles of plants, animals, and humans. It is also essential. Otherwise, if body is not composed, decomposed, what will happen? So it is also important that it gets decomposed and reused in the environment. We all are made up of the same elements which are available in the nature, right? Once our body gets decomposed, the body is transformed into the same elements so that the elements in its original form can be again reused by the nature for other organisms. So that's why there is also a famous saying that a matter is never created nor destroyed. It only changes its forms. So we all on the planet are changing our forms from one form to another form. In a similar way, every animal is a sentient being. It experiences pain, it experiences joy, it experiences suffering, experiences emotions, feelings, happiness. So it is equally important not only just take care of ourselves, but also take care of them and not inflict any kind of pain, injury, suffering, cruelty towards any sentient beings. It is very much essential as they are also part of the system. We need to protect everyone as part of one health paradigm, which includes animal health, plant health, and also human health. So there are various days commemorated as we have various animals, plants, even various natural resources imbibed into divinity, and they are protected, conserved, and promoted. Even in the Western culture, other belief systems and modern scientific systems also realized that it is important to protect these species because they are very much important for our survival. So there are various days that are celebrated every month. Like these are various days that is, birthday, which is celebrated on January 5th, or the big garden birdwatch day, that is UK, which is celebrated on the last weekend in January. Zebra Day is celebrated on 31st January. And World Pangolin Day is celebrated on 3rd Saturday of February. World Whale Day is celebrated on 3rd Sunday of February. Every year, these are dates for every year. That's why whenever it is not a fixed date, accordingly, the day is considered in that month. The week is considered in the month. That's why we are saying the specific day. It is like World Whale Day is celebrated on 3rd Sunday of February. Whichever is the 3rd Sunday of February in that particular year, that day is celebrated as World Whale Day. And similarly, there are various other events like World Bonobo Day on February 14th, World Hippopotamus Day on February 15th, International Polar Bear Day on February 27th, World Wildlife Day on March 3rd, Buzzards Day on March 15th, National Panda Day on March 16th, World Sparrow Day on March 20th. The same day, World Frog Day is also celebrated on March 20th, International Seal Day on March 22nd, World Bear Day on March 23rd, Manatee Appreciation Day, which is celebrated every last Wednesday in March, World Aquatic Animal Day on April 3rd, World Stray Animals Day on April 4th, International Beaver Day on April 7th, Bat Appreciation Day on April 17th, International Palas Cat Day on April 23rd, World Tapir Day on April 27th, International Hyena Day on April 27th, World Vet Day, which is also celebrated on last Saturday in April. So World Tuna Day is celebrated on May 2nd. International Leopard Day is celebrated on May 3rd. World Koala Day is celebrated on May 3rd. And Bird Day in US is celebrated on May 4th. World Donkey Day is celebrated on May 8th. World Migratory Bird Day is celebrated on second weekend of May. Endangered Species Day is celebrated on third Friday of May. World Bee Day is celebrated on May 20. World Fish Migration Day is celebrated on 2 days in a year, that is May 22nd and October 24. World Turtle Day is celebrated on May 23rd. World Otter Day is celebrated on May 25th. World Parrot Day is celebrated on May 31st. World Oceans Day is celebrated on June 8th. International Lynx Day is celebrated on June 11th. National Cougar Day is celebrated on June 12th. World Sea Turtle Day is celebrated on June 16th. World Croc Day for crocodile is celebrated on June 17th. World Giraffe Day is celebrated on June 21st. World Camel Day is celebrated on 22nd. Shark Awareness Day is celebrated on July 14th. World Chimpanzee Day is celebrated on same day, July 14th. The same day is also celebrated as World Orca Day on July 14th. World Snake Day is celebrated on July 16th. International Tiger Day is celebrated on July 29th. International Clouded Leopard Day is celebrated on August 4th. International Moon Bear Day is celebrated on August 8th. World Lion Day is celebrated on August 10th. World Elephant Day is celebrated on August 12th. World Hirola Day is celebrated on the same day, August 12th. International Wolf Day is celebrated on August 13th. National Honeybee Day is celebrated on August 15th. World Orangutan Day is celebrated on August 19th. World African Wild Dog Day is celebrated on August 26th. International Whale Shark Day is celebrated on August 30th. International Vulture Awareness Day is celebrated on first Saturday of September every year. International Primate Day celebrated on September 1st. On the same day, Japan Dolphin Day is also celebrated on September 1st. World Manta Day is celebrated on September 17th. International Red Panda Day on third Saturday of September. International Tamarind Day is celebrated on September 22nd. World Rhino Day is celebrated on September 22nd. World Gorilla Day on September 24th. World Cassowary Day on September 26th. World Rabies Day on September 28th. And World Farm Animals Day on October 2nd. World Animal Day on October 4th. International Migratory Bird Day. We have 2 channels, migratory channels, 3 channels basically. So Mexico, Central and South America, Caribbean, the second Saturday in October. International Sawfish Day on October 17th. World Okapi Day on October 18th. International Sloth Day on October 20. National Reptile Awareness Day celebrated on October 21st. International Wombat Day on October 22nd. International Snow Leopard Day on October 23rd. Freshwater Dolphin Day on October 24th. International Gibbon Day on October 24th. On the same day, International World Fish Migration Day on October 24th as well as May 22nd, 2 days in a year. World Lemur Day this last Friday of October, which has been celebrated and commemorated yesterday on 25th, being Saturday. Sorry, last Friday of October, and today is Saturday. So National Bison Day is also celebrated on 1st November, first Saturday in November. World Anteater Day is celebrated on November 14th. World Fisheries Day is celebrated on November 21st. International Jaguar Day is celebrated on November 29th. International Cheetah Day is celebrated on December 4th. On the same day, Wildlife Conservation Day is celebrated on December 4th. Monkey Day is celebrated on December 4th. And so on. There are various other days which are dedicated for animals. And similarly for birds, plants, also there are various days which we are doing commemorations regularly without missing anyone. So we request everyone to join our daily sessions from 6 to 8 and be part of the campaign of promoting United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and also to promote various causes. See how Sanatana Dharma and Hinduism have given a prominent role to protect everyone, including humans, plants, animals, living and non-living beings. By imbibing divinity into them, in the same way, even the modern scientists, activists, and also governments have recognized the need for protecting the species on the planet and have taken up initiatives, especially by various NGOs and organizations, initiated these various celebrations as part of animal welfare to bring awareness on various aspects. So, we will also have a quiz as part of the conference where you will get an additional certificate. Whatever we are discussing in these 4 days of conference, the same will be part of the quiz in the form of questions. So we request you, everyone, to attend all the 4 days so that it will be very easy, because whatever we are discussing in this platform are only going to be part of the quiz. So make sure you are attending all the 4 days so that you will also get an additional quiz certificate as part of the conference. So we'll be sharing you the quiz link as well. If possible, before the closure or at the time of feedback link, we'll also give you the quiz link so that you can get an additional certificate, and because you can also test your knowledge, how much you are able to grasp it from these sessions. If you have any technical problem, or if you have lost a part of the conference, you can always go back. The YouTube link has also been shared in the chat box. You can copy that link, or you can open that link, subscribe to YouTube channel, and also like that video so that it will be part of your history, so that whenever you want, you can go back and watch it. Otherwise, the same copy will also be available on our website. So you can go there and watch it so that you can easily able to attend all the quiz questions. So whether you attend the conference or not, you can also attempt the quiz and test it. But for those who are attending, it will be an easy way, as you will be listening to the sessions. So it will be much more easier to you. You can easily attempt the questions. So that's how various measures have been taken to protect animals worldwide. And apart from that, there are various acts, rules, and regulations in every country which govern the protection, promotion, conservation, rehabilitation, rescue of various species in their respective jurisdiction. As per the availability of time, feasibility of time, we will look into various such acts, rules, and regulations, and also about various organizations that are working, like our organization is also working on animal welfare. So that's why the reason we have initiated this conference, though it was very short notice. Hope it has reached at least to some people. Maybe we are planning that every year we'll have an annual conference on this October month, which will be a regular conference, annual conference and animal welfare. So we have initiated within a short time. So it might not have reached everyone in the animal welfare fraternity, but there is always a start, you know. We can always start small. Most of the things have started with just a humble beginning. So this is just a humble beginning towards the animal welfare. And with this year, every year we'll have an annual conference. So you also know that every October we'll be having a conference dedicated to animal welfare. So from next year, this year also, everyone has a very good opportunity, as today is just the beginning of the conference and we have 4 days. Kindly circulate this to all your friends, colleagues, students, scholars, academicians, NGOs. There is no minimum qualification required as long as you are serving, as long as you are concerned, as long as you have love, compassion towards animals. You can raise your voice, you can share your information, subject to rules and regulations on the platform. So feel free. Everyone can make a presentation, everyone can have their voice heard. But before that, kindly go through the presentation guidelines and come forward. We'll be happy to give you a chance to voice your concerns, your feedback regarding animal welfare. You can share your observations if you have filled the registration form. You can see various ways how you can participate. So there is no, even school students, college students, or senior professors also can be part of that. Even NGOs, even illiterates, also those who have been working on animal welfare. You can talk orally, can present with a PPT or a poster or in any way. Because this is the first of its kind of conference. Though we have organized so many conferences, so this conference, we thought it should be an unique, which can accommodate everyone in their sector, in their theme. So from school students also, if you have your own pet into your home, you can share your experiences. What are the different challenges you faced in part of raising the pet so that it will be useful for others also. From next year onwards, we'll have a very systematic theme base for each sector, because now it may not be possible because it has been put in a very short notice. But from the next time, we'll also have an exclusive publication for the conference. We'll have an exclusive ISBN number for or ISSN number each year for this conference itself, and that will have all the animal welfare related presentations, deliberations, including the participants, presenters list, and everyone who are completing the formalities, basic formalities, registration, attendance, presentation for presenters, and providing feedback. As simple as that. But make sure you are providing proper data in proper manner so that as the certificates are generated automatically by the system, kindly be careful while entering your data so that you do not make any mistakes. So with this humble beginning, let's everyone go together ahead and start creating an impact and to raise awareness on these days. So presenters who have registered yourself for the presentations, you can share your details in the chat box. As you can see, you can share your topic first. In one single message, you can share your topic, your name, designation, and the place, and also the duration, how much time you require. That will help us, how many presentations we can take it up. And as we keep receiving requests, we can also reply accordingly, respond accordingly to other participants and presenters, so that they will also have an idea when they will get an opportunity. So we request to use the registration form. There is no limit on number of presentations, because this time we want everyone get an opportunity. And even if we have few responses also, we will ensure that there are more presentations, quality and quantitative. So feel free to share your presentation details, stock details in the chat box. We'll be inviting you one by one. And there are 4 days. So even those who have joined us today only, you can also prepare and present tomorrow or day after tomorrow, even on the last day. But try to avoid last day, last minute presentations, and try to invite your friends, colleagues into this conference. So what the least you can do for the animals? Support any initiative by anyone which is for the welfare of animals. At least this we can do, right? We can share this invitation. We can share the registration link or the message you have received through your email or in your WhatsApp or on Facebook. Can just forward to as many people as possible. A small act of gesture. If it reaches the person and the right person who are working in the animal welfare, and if he or she comes forward and shares the knowledge, others can also benefit. So children are doing a lot because they care a lot for animals, teenagers and everyone. every age group is very much, interested in animals. At least though they, even if they don't directly interact with animals, we all love nature, animals, plants, whether we directly involve in it or not. We love them. We love to take care of them. So this way, we can contribute by sharing this information to everyone. Let them be part of it. Let them encourage the ones who are supporting, and let others take motivation from this. So that's why we have provided a quiz also, so that those who are unable to attend these 4 days or at least one day, they can also attend the quiz and gain lot of insights, at least basic topics that have been covered, and at least some days where they can remember, so that they can also take up some activity. And for that also, we are giving a certificate, participation certificate. There is no, a kind of cutoff mark, but try to be as humble as possible. See, that's why scores are not printed on certificates, because this is not something that we are doing it for some marks, right? We are putting our humble efforts to bring awareness. So everyone, but try to put your best efforts. And there is a minimum cutoff, but that is not, high. I'm sure that everyone will qualify, especially this quiz, or many such quizzes are there. Once you visit our website, or even if you visit the conference website link, which have been shared in the chat box, you can find various quizzes are also there. You can attempt those quizzes also, though there is no minimum cutoff, but we can see those who are willing, with some interest filling it up. But ensure that you are filling all the details correctly. Irrespective of scores, if your details are not there, we cannot issue to an unknown person without improper details. Details, especially when you are registering, ensure that you are providing all the details in registration and feedback, because that is where your certificates are. Every certificate will have a unique serial number. Other person cannot use that certificate. So whenever certificates verification happens, you need to have your data in the database. Otherwise, it cannot be verified. And tomorrow, you will face problem. So that's why whatever data you are entering, ensure that you are entering data properly, so that it is easy for you to get your certificates, and also to get your certificates verified at any point of time. So with here, I will stop, and we'll take up presentations from the presenters. So we request everyone to quickly share your topic and details as seen in that, so that we can gain some insights from others. So we will take up, and instructions for the presenter. We will be giving you permission, inviting you. Kindly do not close any forms or anything else apart from unmuting yourself and starting your video and sharing your presentation. And don't do anything else. If you see any forms, you can just minimize it. And after your presentation, kindly mute yourself, stop your video, and do not do anything, because the registration form will be accessible to only the hosts and co-hosts. And when you are provided co-host, you can also see an option to end it. So don't end that form, because again, you will be disabling the other participants, and they will be not able to register. because once it is closed, we cannot open. And if you have closed that intentionally, then because you will be depriving everyone, you will be banned for that. All details will be recorded by the system: who is opening, who is closing, who is doing what, and we'll ban you for future events. So don't do any such activities by mistake also. Be alert, cautious, always try to minimize it. For polls and all, you can submit it, but especially for the presenters, I'm saying. So we have with us from Nigeria, Iflopu Akanbi. Sorry if I couldn't spell it right. So are you there? You can raise your hand. Akanbi. Are you there? Kindly be active, proactive. Whenever we call you, you please respond so that you don't miss your turn. Okay, you are there. Yes, that's why I use chat box. You can raise your hand. For that, there is no permission required. So once you respond, we can give you permissions. And we can invite you. That's the reason. Okay, so Akanbi, you can now unmute yourself, start your audio and presentation.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. You can share do you have any PPT with you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can open it and share it. The next presenter is from Kenya. Be prepared. If I'm not wrong, it's Saitlin Nyambura Freshia from Kenya. So the next presentation will be by you. Keep your presentation ready.
All right, sir.
Have you opened your presentation, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Share it. We are still unable to see the presentation.
Oh, okay.
You can click on share screen and then share it.
Can you see it now, sir?
You have to click on share
Can you see
screen.
my screen now?
It's not still visible.
Okay.
Are
Can you
you?
see it now, sir?
Now it's coming slowly. Great. And the third speaker will be Mr. Pradeep. Others, keep sharing your details in the chat box. We'll be inviting you one by one as per the order in the chat box. We can see your Zoom screen. You need to select the presentation. You select the window in which presentation is open. And you click on that. or you can click on stop sharing, and when you again click on share, you can see the window, small box in which the presentation is open. You can select that box window in which presentation is there. That will directly show you the presentation. Click on share screen and select the window. There will be small boxes visible in that screen. That whichever box you are able to see the presentation, you select that box and click on share.
Okay. Sir, I've sent it to your WhatsApp. Can you share it from your hand, sir?
Now it is not possible. You are doing right. You can click on it and share. Try once. Will help you. Once you click on share screen, you can see, but you have to keep your PPT open in your system first.
Yes, it is open.
Otherwise, you send it to conference email ID WSWD 2000.
Yes, I've sent it to the email.
You send to
I've sent
email.
it to the conference email. Yes, sir.
Okay, let me check. You try from your side once again if you are able to open it.
Okay, sir.
Other presenters, keep your presentations ready. And there is also an option to pre-record the entire session and send to us in case you are facing any difficulties as well, to avoid any technical issue. Yeah, now we can see your screen. You can continue.
Okay.
You can
Okay,
switch
sir.
on your video also
Okay.
so that we can see you.
Okay, sir. Can you see me now, sir?
Yeah, now fine. Yeah, now you can continue. Yeah, you can introduce yourself and start your presentation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Start Ma with your introduction.
Okay, sir.
Can start Ma your presentation.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Ifelua Apo Omobola Akanbi. I'm a veterinary doctor in Nigeria and a lover of animals. I I would like to thank the organizers of this program, of this conference. All the team members. I am very grateful for this.
We can't hear you properly, ma. Try to connect to good network. We are unable to hear you, ma. Or if you have network issue, you can stop your video. I have taken screenshot, and without video, you continue so that you can save some bandwidth.
Is public
You can stop your video, ma, so that you can save some bandwidth.
of
So we are not able to hear you properly.
free roaming of dogs and associated risks in Ibadan Southwest local government area.
Okay, you can continue without PPT also, no problem. You try to ensure that you are connecting to a good network. If you don't have proper network, you can record the session and send it to us. Even that is fine, and you can join. Akanbi, can you hear me? Okay, you can connect to a better network and try again after some time or tomorrow. We'll move on to next presenter. So next presenter. Survival of wild animals. Katin, are you there? From Kenya? Okay. Yeah, now you can unmute yourself. Start your video and presentation. Caitlin, can you hear me? Yeah, you can start your video and share your presentation also. Do you have PPT? Caitlin, we can't hear you, ma. No, we can't hear you. Try to connect to audio properly. Check your mic settings.
And can you hear me?
Now it's fine.
Okay,
You can
as I was
start
saying,
your video also and share your PPT.
Yes, okay, I'm sure. Yes, okay.
Do you have PPT? Yeah, it's visible now. You start your video.
Okay, hello.
Now you can introduce yourself and start.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I am privileged to get this opportunity to present today on this conference, courtesy of the Sri Research Institute and Center for Art, Science and Wellbeing. I wrote an essay on survival of wild animals and their rights, which is what I'm going to present. I'm going to do a brief introduction. Wild animals play a crucial role in maintaining the ecological balance, contributing to the overall harmony of life on our planet. As you know, wild animals are the animals that live in the wild, in game parks, national parks, and national reserves. We know wild animals as animals such as lions, giraffes, antelopes, basically the animals that live in the wild on their own. However, even though they are crucial, wild animals are confronted with numerous dangers, with a large portion of them being as a result of human actions. In this essay, I want to discuss the rights of wild animals, the consequences of poaching on these creatures, specifically on elephants and rhinos, and the role of conservation initiatives in providing hope and security to these animals which are at risk of extinction. So, I'm going to look at the rights of wild animals. All animals, regardless of whether they are wild or domestic, they deserve to live freely and safely in their natural habitats. For wild animals, this means moving around without the fear of being hunted or trapped. We know about the circle of life and how it maintains the ecological balance in the world. Animals live, they have the circle of life where we're not supposed to interfere with their lives. They live in the wild, they hunt for their own food and they survive on their own. That is how the circle of life works. But sadly, these rights are often overlooked, especially for animals, and these animals being elephants and giraffes. Elephants and rhinos, which are hunted and poached for their tusks and horns, which are valued to be sold in black markets and to make things such as ornaments. In numerous regions globally, wild animals are viewed as goods, resulting in unlawful hunting and poaching that endangers their existence, which doesn't just disturb the natural equilibrium, but also deprives these animals of their freedom to live in the world. So I'm going to talk about the next point, the effect of illegal hunting on elephants and rhinos. So poaching poses a major danger to wildlife, especially in Africa. Poaching involves unlawfully hunting animals, typically for selling their body parts for financial gain. In Kenya and other regions of Africa, elephants and rhinos are the primary focus of poachers due to their valuable tusks and horns. Elephants' tusks are in high demand for their ivory, which is utilized for creating decorations and accessories. Even with prohibitions on the sale of ivory and rhino horns, illicit poaching persists, causing a severe decrease in the number of these majestic creatures. So elephants and rhinos are the prime targets for poachers because of their tusks and horns. And to get their tusks and horns, they are sadly killed. In recent years, there has been significant decline in the populations of elephants and rhinos. During the beginning of the 20th century, Africa was home to millions of elephants wandering around. Today, there are only approximately 400,000 still present. So you can see, before there were millions of elephants, very many animals in the world, but because of poaching, which affected the number of elephants, there are approximately 400,000 left. You can see there's an actual significant decline in their numbers. The condition is even more dire for rhinos. There are a total of 5 rhino species globally, and each one of them is at risk of extinction. For instance, the black rhino population in Africa has decreased by 98% in the past century. The primary cause of this significant decrease is poaching. One of the saddest instances showcasing these consequences of poaching is the story of Sudan, who was the last male northern white rhino species in the world. Sudan was born in 1973, and he was relocated to Olpejeta Conservancy in Kenya to assist in breeding and preserving the northern white rhino subspecies. Despite attempts to stimulate breeding, Sudan was unsuccessful in siring any offspring, and he died in 2019, leaving behind only 2 females, Najin and Fatin, as the only northern white rhino species left in the world. So you see, because of poaching, before there were many northern white rhino species in the world, but because of poaching for their horns, this led to the decline of their species, which left, at some point, there are only three of their species left in the world, 2 females and 1 male. And in 2018, the last male of that species died, leaving behind only 2. So you can see the consequences of poaching. We only have 2 species, two left known species. So we can see, like, in the far future, there's a possibility of people only knowing of such species through reading books of history and never ever getting to see them. So My next point is on efforts to preserve nature in Kenya. The decrease in wild animal population, specifically elephants and rhinos, has triggered multiple conservation initiatives. Conservationists are working hard to combat poaching and restore stability to wildlife populations. Conservation centers and organizations exist to safeguard, save, and aid animals often as a result of poaching. The efforts of the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust are widely recognized as a prominent conservation project in Kenya. For more than 4 decades, the organization has been saving orphaned elephants and rhinos, giving them the necessary care and assistance to ensure their survival. The trust's committed staff members serve as substitute caregivers, provide food, hygiene, and emotional support to the young animals until they are ready to return to their natural habitat. The procedure is difficult and can require several years for these animals to acquire the necessary abilities to live independently. However, the successful outcomes of the trust demonstrates the potential that dedication, patience, what dedication, patience, and love can bring. So wildlife conservancy agencies have emerged, and they are actually you can visit national parks and game parks, and you can find their actual conservation measures which are being taken. There are people who work there where they go into they have rescued orphaned baby elephants or baby rhinos and are keeping them watched and surrounded. And because they are orphaned, so to increase their chances of survival, they have to be there to feed them, give them milk, and to help them survive in order to preserve their species. Conservation centers utilize modern technology to protect orphaned animals in addition to providing them with care. Using tracking devices is a key measure to safeguard elephants and rhinos. Conservationists use GPS collars to track the movements of animals released back into the wild. This monitoring not only protects the animals from poachers, but also gathers important information on their behavior, migration patterns, and habitat utilizations. These young animals, these orphaned animals, which are taken care of in conservation places in the game parks and national reserves, when they grow up, they are later released back into the wild. But when they are released back into the wild, they are fitted with collars to track them, because you might release them back without tracking them. You might release them back, and yet they are hunted and poached, which just devalues the point of doing that conservation measure. So they are tracked using those collars to protect them at the same time and to gather information on their migration patterns. My next point is on growing the number of individuals in the population. Due to the dedicated efforts of conservationists, the elephant and rhino populations in Kenya are gradually increasing. Recently, there have been numerous instances of orphaned elephants and rhinos successfully translocated back into the wild. These animals have another opportunity to live, and their liberation symbolizes a major triumph in the battle in preserving our wildlife. The animals go through a thorough process to make sure they are only prepared to survive independently before being set free. They're exposed to different animals, instructed on locating food, and motivated to nurture their innate abilities. Once they are considered prepared, they're released back into the wild to live freely as they were intended to. Although there have been positive advancements, the battle is still ongoing. Poaching is still a concern with the desire for ivory and rhino horn fueling illegal actions. However, if governments, communities, and conservation organizations continue to show their support, there is a possibility for a positive change to occur. Education and awareness initiatives are crucial as they educate individuals on the significance of wildlife conservation, motivating them to safeguard and show respect towards animals. So as you can see, thanks to these conservation efforts, there's a gradual increase in the number of elephants and rhinos. These orphaned animals, once they are taken care of and during that young stage, they are returned into the wild so that they can live freely again as they were meant to. Before being set free, they go through a learning preparation process, which is learning to interact with the other wildlife. Since they were growing up in a protected zone, where they were fed and all that, meaning they were not exactly used to the wild as other wildlife animals. So they are taught to interact with other wildlife, how to find food on their own, and how to use their instincts. And when they're finally ready, they're released back into the wild, which is actually a big victory in the fight for wildlife preservation. But even as these conservation measures are taken, the poaching is still a significant threat, driven by the high demand for ivory and rhino horn. But with the support of governments which have banned poaching and hunting, which are now deemed illegal, putting severe punishments for those found doing such activities, and the support from the communities, there is hope. So it is education and awareness initiatives are crucial as they educate individuals on the significance of wildlife conservation, motivating them to safeguard and show respect towards wild animals. One of the ways this is being done is, for example, through this conference, which is educating us and providing awareness initiatives. So, in conclusion, preserving the existence of wild animals involves more than just safeguarding the environment. It entails maintaining a unique and invaluable aspect of our planet. When we lose a species, we lose a crucial part of the delicate balance that keeps our ecosystem in check. The tale of Sudan, the final northern white rhino, should serve as a powerful reflection on the imminent risk of losing some of our most beloved species forever. However, his tale should also serve as a reminder that hope still remains present. Through conservation efforts, orphaned elephants and rhinos are given a second chance at life, and with the help of modern technology, we can ensure their safety even after they're released back into the wild. The fight against poaching is not an easy one, but it is a fight that you cannot afford to lose. By coming together and working towards a common goal, we can protect these magnificent creatures and ensure that they continue to roam our world for generations to come. So protecting wild animals is more than just conserving nature. It's about preserving a unique part of our world. When you lose a species, we lose an important piece of our ecosystem's delicate balance. Sudan's story should be a reminder at what's at stake. We are risking losing some of our most beloved species, but we lose those species, and generations to come won't get to see or enjoy such wildlife. They'll only be able to read them from history books. But at the same time, through Sudan, many conservation agencies have come up with an aim of protecting these animals. So this should also serve as hope. As you can see, conservation efforts have given orphaned elephants and rhinos a second chance. And with modern technology, we can help ensure their safety. The fight against poaching is challenging, but it's one we can't afford to lose. So by coming together, we can protect these creatures and ensure that they continue to roam the earth for generations to come. So that is the end of my essay presentation. I am thankful for this opportunity to present my essay, and I'm grateful to all the experts and the attendees for your valuable time in attending this conference, and I hope you'll continue enjoying the sessions even for the next. The conference continues for the next 3 days, and I hope you'll continue enjoying the session. I'm also open to receiving any questions or feedback on this. And thank you for your time.
Very well presented, Kathleen. It is the need of the hour that we need to, save and protect our species. As you rightly pointed out in one of the case study, only 2 are left. So that is only, where we know very limited species which are there on the planet, and that too, we are able to document only a few. See, there might be so many such species which are endangered or which might have also become extinct. So it is very much important that we all have to come together, raise our voices, bring awareness so that no other species becomes endangered or extinct, as their role cannot be replaceable by any other species. Very well presented. Congratulations for your wonderful efforts and presentations. We wish you all the success. And participants, if you have any queries, you can share it in chat box, or you can raise your hand. You can unmute yourself, unmute you, or you can unmute yourself and share feedback. If there are no oral feedback, you can continue to put in chat box or through feedback form. Once again, we congratulate you, Kathleen, and we wish you all the success.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we will move on to, we'll go back to our earlier speaker from Africa. Akanbi. Akanbi, you can respond in chat box. Is your network fine now? Can you present now? Akanbi from Africa. Okay, whenever you are ready for your presentation, you can share it in chat box. Now we will move on to Mr. Pradeep. Are you there? Pradeep? Yeah. So now we have with us Mr. Pradeep. He's an animal activist from India and from Hyderabad. So he's into the animal welfare and activism, animal rescues. He's very much dedicated, committed person in animal welfare. We have been also working on similar assignments. You can unmute yourself, Pradeep.
Yes, sir.
Start your presentation.
Thank you, Ravindra sir. It was a great platform for providing such initiatives, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving such a platform to exchange knowledge and also present your perspectives. So, a very good evening, one and all. First of all, I would like to thank you for being a part of this international webinar on animal welfare and veterinary sciences. So, today I'm going to talk about role of responsible feeders in mitigating human and dog conflict. So, generally, when we talk about in India, we actually respect animals. That's from our cultural perspective and also from many of the ages. So, as the times go on, like due to the modernization and everything, so what was happened is we have built many of the occupied their animal territories, and we built many of the uh, tall towers and skyscrapers. So their territory has been occupied. So at the same time, during the domestication was happening around 2500 years ago. So we used to have wolves, and after that, we tame where the early man used to tame them up, and gradually they have been. Even dogs are also belong to the wolf family. So they slowly tamed and they have been domesticated, and they have been also bought as pets. Earlier, they have been used as hunting dogs, and they have been used in many of the some are used as guarding for for the dogs. So protecting the dogs, and some actually uh, shepherd dogs. Shepherd dogs are normally nothing but they actually take care of their cattle or livestock in protecting them, protecting their well-being and from attack from wildlife. So these was the things happen, and after that we have as they just keeps on going on. So these dogs of Indian Parai dogs, we normally call them. So they gradually left on the states because of the recent rise of the pedigree dogs, and people started to people started to buy the dogs like in the park by seeing the advertisements and everything. So slowly and gradually, these dogs are becoming homeless. So but this has actually caused a great deal of damage because to the especially for the animals, they suffer from starvation and they don't get proper food and water. They heavily rely on the human garbage that have been left over the municipal waste and everything. So they started to feed on them, and also the water, they generally drink the water from the drainage water or any ponds. Sometimes they have contamination of waste effluents, and they suffer from various infections, diseases, and hepatosis and other various illnesses. So these actually these actually has caused a lot of dam. This actually aggravated the problem, and it has also lead to human and dog conflict, where when an animal is in acute starvation and all, so they started to look at the for the food. Whenever humans are carrying the food, they tend to snatch away the food, and sometimes due to the acute starvation, sometimes they get it leads to the behavioral problems like aggression issues, and at the same time due to the ill treatment of the human they speed the vehicles, and they literally go to the dog, and they buzz the horn. So they have a very acute sensory nerves and everything. So even its needle sound also they get alerted. So this created a lot of trauma. So at this point of time, there are also people who actually come forward to feed animals. So they take care of the well-being of the animals by feeding the food. So where they feel it as a compassion, it is there in our culture. And at the same time, if you talk about Honorable Constitution of India, Article 51 AG, it has stated that it shall be the fundamental duty of every citizen to have a compassion towards all living creatures as per the legislations, and also animal birth control rules which are framed by the Union Government of India 2023, it has stipulated that it shall be the community responsibility to take care of the well-being of the community dogs. So either arranging a feeding stations, and at the same time providing the necessary vaccinations and immunizations to protect them from various infection diseases, and also keeping their stray dog population under the optimum level, so that this could reduce the human and dog conflict. So that was partly good, but certain of the time, this compassion also the people have started to there is significant thin line. So what actually they started to do is they started to overfeed the animals. That means even the animal is getting the required food and water. They started to be overly compassionate. So over what actually happens when it is anything is overly is, so they started to dump the food on the ground, which is neither the dog animal is not eating, either it is not like food has been wasted. It is not useful to any human being, nor else even the animal is not eating. So even if you see about the 40% of the food has been wasted every day, and one third of the population, like which actually uh, creates some malnutrition problems, and many children are suffering of that, and there is a lot of inequality in it. So some people, what actually they do is being overly compassionate. I'm not saying compassion is necessary, but where it should be, how it should be, in what way we should feed the animal, how much it is necessary for the animal. If they ensure that are there are any feeders in the community, are there are some people who are taking care of the animals. Like some people, like literally they pour biscuits on the ground. They don't eat, and at the same time, they keep a bowl of water. It is good to keep a bowl of water, but at the same time, it is also equally important to ensure that you providing a safe and drinking water for the animal. It's not filled with a lot of mosquitoes, larvae, where again it is affecting the animal health only. Because ultimate goal of a feeder or a caregiver is to provide a nutritious food and a bowl of water and a vaccination to protect them from various illnesses and sterilization. But a lot of the times, due to the people's over compassionate, so this has aggravated the this has actually changed the dog feeding patterns. So they started to heavily depend reliable on the person. So being the animal having its natural behavior, sometimes it forgets because it's heavily dependent on that particular person, which in turn, if for example one day the feeder is not able to come, so it will start to look at around the food. He will be in the starvation, and at the same time it will snatch away the any food carrying from a child. It will immediately snatch away, and even in that process the child may get bitten. So instead of feeding heavily, maybe understanding the animal needs, what actually it needs, what how much it needs, based on this you can provide it. Not every dog can be fed based on his care. It needs a lot of food. It needs a lot of medication. So as that process, you can provide a adequate food and also sufficient nutritious food so that it can recover from the illness. And second part of it is uh, a whelping mother. A whelping mother which has given birth to puppies. It is a little bit difficult to get the food, as it has to go outside and you need to get the food in order to feed the puppies. So in that particular situation, maybe you can feed the mother dog and also the puppies with the adequate food sources so that the puppies can be well grown, and at the same time these mother dog can get a sufficient food so that it can also feed the puppies. So that is one aspect we can do. And other thing is that instead of feeding about at the public places, I see a lot of people where they feed wherever they want, where they don't even see that whether the animal is hungry or not. whether it is required or not, and whether it is whatever the actions we are doing, whether it is helping an animal, whether it is making a worse. Because if you are feeding in the traffic area, uh, the animal will comes off it. At the same time, there is a potential risk associated with that. When the animal is crossing the road, suddenly it may hit a car. It may hit a car. So the person who is driving the vehicle also, in order to escape the animal, he may met with another accident too. So in that way, uh, the animal is getting injured and the human are also getting injured. So in the vice versa case, what we can do is, instead of feeding in the public places, like parks, school parks, or any traffic area, irrespective, have a designated feeding spot which is away from the public place, where there is a less frequent of people, and at the same time, you can also provide them nutritious food and water uh, whenever it is required. Not every day animal can be fed based on the requirement. Be feeding the same dog multiple times, because there are also caregivers who can also take care of it. You can check with them. You can also look for the places. For example, you can look about the places for the dog where the resources are very less. If you see about the COVID time, there are no eateries available at that time. So every time everything is been it's a very disaster time, and it's a pandemic time. We need to say that. So at that time there are no eateries, no food, and so in that particular case, it's okay to go extend your heartful compassion for the animals and feed them, because there are no eateries, no food at the time, and so it is very essential because they will die at the situation. And at the same time, if you see about the flood situation or any natural disaster, it is very essential at that time, because the animals could not get the food at that situation. It is a vulnerable situation. So in that particular situations, you can feed the animals. So other than that, and in normal times, a regular frequent meals is not necessary. Maybe an alternate days you can feed them. And at the same time, you can also, if you are if you are feeding an animal, ensure that you are providing the vaccination for that. Maybe you can coordinate with the animal welfare organizations. You can also take with a lot of individual people are also there who can help, who can rescue animals at the time. You can take their support. You can get the dog vaccinated, and you can also take in the absence of, if you are from a village or if you are from any uh, other than metropolitan cities. For example, now if you are not from Hyderabad, Bangalore, any two-tier cities, where even two-tier cities, they have the veterinary facilities and care. But if you are from a village where there is a poor lack of facilities, you can approach the village authorities, also punch, or anyone. So they can talk to the higher officials, and wherein they can arrange the process for the sterilization and vaccination. And if you see the categorization of the dogs are also, so there are free roaming dogs. Free roaming dogs are these are dogs which are not owned by anyone, but they actually owned by community people. They will come and feed some food, and these animals are very friendly towards it. And we have the feral dogs. Feral dogs are nothing but they have an imprint characteristics that can be acquired from their mother. They are extremely shy, or else they are extremely aggressive also. So these dogs are actually, they don't want to communicate, they don't want to socialize. So even if you feed them, even if you fed them, maybe trying to tame them, they maybe become friendly. It is something like, it is a parental behavior where it takes a lot of time, and you have to ensure that you have to be present with them, and never pet these animals also, never pet this dog, because they are having some fear, they're having some aggressiveness. You may get injured. Having compassion is okay. Having compassion towards animals is good, but at the same time, observe the animal behavior, what actually the animal is trying to need as per the five animal welfare freedoms which are mentioned: freedom from hunger, thirst, providing essential food and water. That is based on the animal condition. Freedom from pain and injury, providing the animal sufficient shelter or anything. Maybe if there is a heavy rainfall or flood or any situation, natural disaster is there, you can allow the animal to rest in your place. And at the same time, freedom from pain, injury, and disease, and freedom from express its natural behavior. So let the animal express its natural behavior. So you can come. You can also. If some dogs are very friendly, it's okay. They are good. Like people who are good and bad. Similarly, dogs do also be. And it will be a bad and it will be good. So vice versa. So in that point of time, you need to observe that what actually it is suffering from. We need to provide all the basic necessities for that. And and what I'm trying to say is, being a responsible feeder is not about feeding animals. Being a part of the solution is important, because you have to be a part of the solution. Maybe you can done by doing a small census. Whenever you're going for feeding a dog, see that how many dogs you're feeding. Check with the ear notch. You can see that ear notch is nothing but, if you can see the dog right ear, we have that V-shaped cut. That V-shaped cut determines that the dog is sterilized and it is vaccinated against rabies, and it is safe for the community as well. So you can check with them. If the dogs are non-operated, you can have a plain paper, write down what actually the area is. I mean, which area you are feeding and which time the dog will come. And also, does the dog is in having any litters? That means puppies or not. Because puppies under the 3 months of age, when they are with their mother, it is not an ideal time to take a dog for sterilization. So you need to check with them, and you can also check with the dog, like if you have any skin infection problems or other health problems, you can check with them and have a list of it. And you can take the list to any nearby animal welfare organization, or in case of absence of animal welfare organization, you can approach the local municipal corporation or village panchayat. Or if you are from a defense area, there will be a cantonment area also. You can approach them, you can ask them, you can say that the authorities that I'm actually a responsible feeder who is taking care of the animals, and we need the sterilization and we need the vaccination. The authorities or anyone would be more happy to assist you, and because you are a part of the solution, at the same time you can provide an awareness initiatives and education initiatives how to the public to be safe around with animals. So especially children, you can show them how to be empathetic towards animals, how what actually a fearful dog looks like, what is a friendly dog looks like. And at the same time, responsible pet ownership is also necessary. You can also educate your community pet owners about the essential needs of vaccination, and also um not engaging in any pet abandonment, because pet abandonment is a crime as per the local laws and judicial various uh, acts also. Like PC Act, we can call as Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, which has been there is an act in it, and also various state laws also they are abide for that. So you can explain them so that they will be aware of it. In case they were not able to able to maintain a dog due to the certain circumstances, because due to the health or any other death of our beloved ones, maybe you can try for a foster. You can get them adopted, but don't abandon the animals. And at the same time, overly I mean overly compassionate towards the dogs. Let the dog be a dog. Because a dog is entirely a dog and he wants to roam around. Let it be a natural behavior, and be compassionate. Don't hit them, don't harm them. And being a responsible pet owner or being a responsible feeder, yes, you need to take care of their well-being in terms of vaccination, sterilization. And also, if you're a community feeder, you can also do one thing. You can write you can put a tag. You can put a tag around the dog neck and mention your contact number. If there is any problem, like public are doing it, the public can reach out to you. You can explain them how you are taking care of the dog, and what times you are providing the new things, and in what way you can you can also communicate with the community people, the necessity of the community dogs with them, because these dogs are removed. They're occupied by some other animals, some other dogs, which are extremely feral. Maybe it could be also rabid also. So it is your duty to protect your animals, community animals, by being a responsible feeder. That means see whether the animal is required or not, what actually the animal needs, rather than you think that the animal needs something. Observe what actually animal needs, and also interact with the fellow animal laws, or even you invite the animal welfare organizations to give talk in your community, make others to be compassionate towards animals. So because all can be kind towards animals, but our acts should also should not harm the animals. So that's all I want to say. Thank you once again for all, sir. So patiently you are listening to me. I'm grateful for all your time, and thanks a lot, Ravinder sir, for every time making me a part of this international webinar. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, Pradeep, for sharing insights on the various aspects of dog feeding and challenges faced and the precautions that need to be taken, which are very much essential, which because we see quite commonly, people feeding the dogs. And whenever we feel also, in general, whenever we see some animal, we try to feed something, even uh, uh, whatever we have or whatever we can afford or whatever is available. But we have to do it in a proper way. That to nowadays, this, as you have pointed out, this I was also, brought so many concerns by netizens also, because of these ads, to bring more these likes and shares. People are feeding lot of things, unwanted things to animals to gain, the popularity. So this is also, we have to be very careful when we are having pets. You can't feed everything. Yeah, even we had a discussion, a meeting where people were inappropriately involving children, animals, because exposing them to the to the online and to the online netizens. So this is also, you have to be very careful that in this process you are not harming the animal in any way. Because once you start feeding, which is not good for animal, there is a risk that you are harming the animal, and you are also uh, impacting the diet of the animal. So make sure, especially with the pets, be careful what you feed, where you feed, how much you feed, and also maintain the regular patterns while feeding. Otherwise, you could invite problems. Even with the pets also, outside also, be cautious where you are feeding, what you are feeding, how much you are feeding, so that you avoid accidents like Pradeep has mentioned. This is quite common, whenever you see when there is no regular patterns, then when animals become dependent on the feeders, when feeder is not available, they have to satisfy their hunger and they try to grab whatever is available around. Sometimes they become aggressive because of that hunger and try to, yeah, forcibly grab some food around or try to bite someone passing by, showing their, displacing their aggression or anger on someone else. So these kind of things are quite commonly seen. And so that's why whoever is feeding, especially a regular feeder, you have to take care of your animals. And whenever you are not available, also find a substitute where someone else can go and feed them. So that can also reduce the casualties or conflicts. Very well presented, Pradeep. Congratulations. We wish you all the success for your
Thank you,
future
sir.
contributions. And participants, if you have any queries or feedback, suggestions, feel free to share in chat box, or you can also raise your hand so that we can unmute you. I think there are no such feedback as of now, suggestions, because it's very much clear. Hope everyone has understood. We'll have more sessions in coming days.
Sure.
So,
Sure, sir.
okay, congratulations once again. Thank you for joining us and
Thank you, sir.
valuable insights to all the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Then we'll go on and check with our first presenter from Africa. If she is not able to present, then we'll conclude it here. And tomorrow we will start the sessions as usual at 6 o'clock. So, yeah, any other presenters available for their presentations, you can quickly share in chat box. And where you want to try once again, Akambi, you can try if you want to. Okay, you have sent recorded. Okay, let me check. Otherwise, you can try once. I can make you. You try it once if you can do it. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Akanbi.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you can try now.
Okay, no. Please, sir, play the one on the mail, sir. I changed my device.
Okay, I think you can try from this live because your voice is clear
I'm
now.
using it. Okay. Let me try to do that. I'm using a phone now.
Okay. Or without PPT also you can present, no problem.
Okay. Okay, sir. So thank you once again for the opportunity, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon for those that are in this part of the world. My name is Dr. Ifeoluwapo Akanbi, and I'm representing the other authors to present our paper titled Public Perception of Free Roaming of Dogs and Associated Risks in Ibadan Southwest Local Government Area of Oyo State, Nigeria. We appreciate the organizers of this program. We are very grateful to you for the opportunity to participate and to present our paper. Thank you very much, sirs. So free roaming dogs are dogs that are not restricted. Some of them could be owned, but they roam the streets freely. And they are a common sight in developing countries, especially. A lot of nuisance and threats have been associated with these dogs. And this includes causing road accidents, noise pollution, waste catering, and even disease transmission. And one of the primary concerns associated with free roaming dogs is their risk of transmitting diseases, especially zoonotic diseases like rabies and it's a common thing in this part of the world. So the justification of our study is that free roaming dogs cause havoc that affects millions of people, especially in developing countries. And in Nigeria, there is limited data-driven information on people's perception of free roaming dogs, the hazards posed by these free roaming dogs, and the practices that influence free roaming of dogs. So our study aimed at assessing the public perception of free roaming dogs among the residents of Ibadan Southwest local government area of Oyo State, and to assess their level of knowledge and practices regarding these dogs and rabies as one of the diseases that can be transmitted by the dogs, and also to identify threats that these dogs pose in their environment. So the study was conducted in Ibadan Southwest local government area of Oyo State, Nigeria, and it was a cross-sectional study. So simple random sampling was used to select volunteering individuals, and the study spanned a period of 4 months. The sample size was 150, and data was collected using structured questionnaire, using face-to-face interviewer method. And also the data that were obtained from the study were analyzed with descriptive statistics and chi-square test. So the results of the study showed that 50.7% of the respondents were male and 39.3% were between the ages of 28 and 37 years. And the majority of them were private business owners that made up 31.3% of the respondents. Based on their knowledge concerning free roaming dogs and rabies in their community, 58.0% of the dog owners knew the owners of these free roaming dogs in their community, while 42% did not know the owners of the free roaming dogs. And this shows that these dogs were most likely abandoned and had entered or penetrated their community from other areas where their owners are not known. 100% of the respondents knew that free roaming dogs could pose public health risk. And 83.3% of them knew that free roaming dogs could transmit diseases to other animals in their community and to humans. When we asked them about rabies, we discovered that only 60.0% of the respondents had heard about rabies before, and only 33.3% knew about the fatal nature of rabies after clinical symptoms manifest. Also, only 24.7% of the respondents knew that rabies could be transmitted through bites and scratches, and only few knew that contact with infected saliva could, in contamination with the mucous membranes of the eyes, nose, and mouth could lead to rabies transmission. 34.0% of these respondents knew chasing and biting as some of the signs of rabies in dogs, and only few of them knew that excessive salivation, change in normal behavior were signs. And this shows that the level of knowledge of these respondents is quite low in this scope. That means there's a knowledge gap concerning the means of transmission of rabies. Also, only 36.7% of the respondents knew that rabies could be prevented by vaccination. There's also a knowledge gap identified there. Then, based on the knowledge of the respondents among concerning the management of dog bite, only 32.0% knew that the first step to take in managing dog bite was to wash the wound with soap and water immediately after the bite. And 13.3% of the respondents knew that seizing and isolating of dogs was one of the things to do when a dog is showing signs of rabies. Figure 2 shows that the overall knowledge level of the respondents was moderate, where 59.6% of the dog owners, of the respondents, showed or had adequate knowledge about free roaming of dogs and rabies in their community, while only 40.4% had inadequate knowledge about free roaming of dogs and rabies. Table 5 shows that it shows the result of the perception of free roaming dogs among the respondents. 13.4% of these respondents either agreed or strongly agreed that free roaming dogs were part of their community and that they had the right to move freely on the streets, while over 60% either agreed or strongly agreed that free roaming dogs lacked appropriate health care. And over 50% felt that free roaming dogs constitute nuisance in their environment, while 78.7% felt that the awareness on laws regarding dog roaming in their community was inadequate. Then table 6, perception, still on the perception of free roaming of dogs among the respondents. 55.3% of the respondents felt that owners of free roaming dogs did not take care of these dogs and they should be sanctioned. And 66% of the respondents felt that free roaming of dogs within their community was highly risky. Over 70% of the respondents felt that dog bite incidents and diseases like rabies could reduce if free roaming dogs, the population of free roaming dogs in their community would be controlled. And about 88.6% of the respondents also agreed or strongly agreed that seizing of an evacuation of free roaming dogs, it was necessary to control their population and to keep their communities safe. Also, over 90% of the respondents felt that the local government should have the responsibility of controlling free roaming dogs. Table 7 shows the results of dog ownership and management among the respondents. So among the 150 individuals that were interviewed in our study, we discovered that 43 of them, that's 26.7%, owned dogs, but only 27.9% of these dog owners had vaccinated their dogs against rabies. 11.6% of them had vaccinated their dogs against other diseases aside rabies. And only 34.9% dewormed their dogs regularly. Now, with the rates of dog roaming and many of these dogs not being dewormed, they could contaminate the environment with feces that has worms of ailment, that has eggs of ailments, and could contaminate the environment and transmit diseases to other animals and humans. Also, only 67.4% claim that they fed their dogs daily, meaning that those that don't feed their dogs daily encourage these dogs to roam freely on the streets to source for food. Figure 3 shows the confinement status of the dogs that were owned by the respondents, and only 41.9% kept their dogs always confined. Table 8 shows the practices of the respondents regarding free roaming dogs. All the respondents claimed that they cite free roaming dogs in their environment. 12.7 claims that they play with free roaming dogs and that they feed free roaming dogs on the streets. While they are trying to take care of these dogs that are outside their homes, they could also encourage free roaming of dogs. And then since many of these dogs are not well taken care of based on vaccination and other treatments, they could be encouraging an increase in population of these dogs and then encouraging transmission of diseases. Also, waste disposal on open dump sites and nearby bushes was a common practice in the study area, and this could increase the population of free roaming dogs and also increase the rate at which people are exposed to diseases and other risks associated with free roaming dogs. Figure 4 shows the overall practice level of the respondents towards free roaming of dogs and rabies prevention. And our results showed that 65.6% of the respondents exhibited acceptable practices regarding free roaming dogs and rabies prevention, while 34.4% exhibited unacceptable practices like disposing waste openly in the environment to encourage dogs roaming about and surfing for food in open places. Table 9 shows the results of the respondents' observations about free roaming dogs and the bite exposure of these respondents. 58.2% claims that they saw free roaming dogs, or that they commonly see free roaming dogs surfing the waste, feeding on open dump sites. And 14.6% revealed that they see ticks on free roaming dogs. Ticks can lay eggs in the environment and which can be transmitted to other animals. 6.6% saw larvae in the dog skin. That's myiasis, which is also zoonotic, and this can be transmitted to humans in the environment, especially for those that come in close contact with these free roaming dogs. Alopecia and aggression were other things that were observed among free roaming dogs. Figure 5 shows the results of the threats that were identified by free roaming dogs and by the respondents. All the respondents claimed that attacking and biting humans and attacking and biting livestock was one of the risks that they associate with free roaming dogs in their environment. Other risks or threats were barking and noise pollution, causing vehicular accidents, destruction of waste, disease transmission, disposal of waste in the environment, and disruption of movement, fecal contamination in the environment, and that some of these dogs cause fear and anxiety. And of course, some of these dogs also kill other animals for food, and the odor that emanates from the carcasses of these animals cause nuisance in the environment. Table 10 shows the associations between sociodemographic characteristics of the respondents and their level of practices. The gender and the age, for the gender and the age, there was no association, no significant association with their practices. But for the occupation, the results showed that the private business owners had significantly higher level of acceptable practices or exhibited significantly higher level of practices as compared to civil servants, the unemployed, and students in the environment. And this may be that they are more enlightened or that they are wealthier and could take care of their dogs more than for others. All the respondents reported sighting free roaming dogs in their communities, and this is higher than the 77% reported in India by Mass Pet Care 2023. And this posed a risk of dog bites and other free roaming dog related threats. The respondents' practices such as poor waste disposal practices, allowing their dogs to roam, playing with dogs, feeding with free roaming dogs, could increase or influence the population of these dogs in their community. And about a fifth of the respondents had been beaten or scratched by free roaming dogs before, or knew people that had been beaten or scratched before. And this shows or indicates the risk of rabies transmission. As we know, rabies is most commonly transmitted by bites and by scratches, according to WHO. In conclusion, majority of the respondents perceived free roaming dogs as constituting physical and environmental nuisance and as agents of disease transmission. Despite this, some exhibited practices capable of encouraging free roaming dogs in their community. Our recommendations are that there should be public enlightenment on the risks that are associated with free roaming dogs, and then things on diseases like rabies, especially. And the government should seize abandoned free roaming dogs and create shelters for these dogs where they will be well taken care of and where people can adopt them or purchase them as pets, or as guards, for research or other purposes. The government should also enforce laws on the control of dogs as they are perceived as causing a lot of nuisance in the environment. There should be enforcement on these laws, and then there should be proper disposal of waste. This should be encouraged by the government through the Ministry of Environment, so that this would deter free roaming dogs from scavenging the waste and causing nuisance in the environment. Most importantly, there's a need for a One Health approach involving the government, physicians, veterinarians, environmental health officers, and other stakeholders in mitigating the risk or threats that are associated with free roaming dogs in the study area. These are some of our references. And once again, we appreciate the organizers of this program, this conference, the Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, the Sri Research Institute and Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. We appreciate all collaborators, Dr. Ravindra Shah, moderators, and the coordinator for the international conference. We are grateful to all the team members. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to attend this conference and to participate and to present our paper. Thank you very much.
Yeah, congratulations, very well presented.
Thank you, sir.
So we can see, the detailed statistics also about various perceptions about feeding and free roaming dogs. A very well conducted study. Participants, if you have any queries, suggestions, feedback, feel free to raise your hand or yeah, Pradeep, you can unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Madam, the presentation was so good, but in the recommendations you have mentioned about that the government should seize and abandoned dogs. Instead of that, maybe in increasing the posters, maybe involving the compassionate citizens or animal welfare organizations uh, can also benefit them. That could also make the people a part of the fair movement, because government alone cannot do all the things. It is also a participatory thing, that is from point of animal welfare, people and public, and also there are individuals also who do that. So maybe that could uh, made more significant. Rest of the presentation was really well presented, madam. Thanks a lot. Uh, Thank you for bringing the valuable insights about the dog welfare and also responsible pet ownership. As you rightly pointed that many of the pet owners, they don't put the animals on leash. They think that okay, the dog will come to our place. So, but for the public, they are not that much uh, friendly with the dog. So, and the dogs actually they have this behavioral thing. If they notice the person is a little bit fearful, they tend to play with the person, or else they sometimes uh, some behavioral issues are there. At that moment, they can bite also. So, certain policies level intervention is also needed, definitely, at the local level or regional level, and also if you are any from any of the part of a country, so that could also definitely make the owners to be a little bit responsible. Here in India, when we take in Hyderabad, we have the pet dog registration, which is included in our Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation app. So specifically, where a pet owners has to, it's a mandatory thing. If they haven't registered, they don't have the pet dog license. If someone has complained, there is in the municipal act also, Hyderabad Municipal Corporation Act, so where they come and they tow away the dog. So they have to pay the hefty fine for that. So instead of paying a 50 rupees for a registration, they have to pay around 2000 rupees. So now they have been realizing the importance of that. So they are most of the pet owners, they are doing the registration as an individual level and also organization level, municipal corporation, trying their best to address the responsible pet ownership. So the government sometimes they may not able to facilitate each and everything. So it is actually equally important to address these issues. And as you said that One Health, it is a very important thing for human health, animal health, and environmental health. It is very much essential. Integration of that. So public health physicians, veterinarians, education department, because most of the dog bites are happening. It is very much important to include education department too, to the holistic part of it, so that they can also, especially children, can also know about the how to be well behave with dogs, and how to be safe with animals. So very well presented, ma'am. Congratulations. Thank you, Ravindra sir.
Yeah, thank you, Pradeep, for your.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to share your feedback or suggestions on the three sessions? Feel free. Okay, there is one comment from Maya. I believe we all are selfish because we prioritize on our own well-being, but we must recognize that this universe is not only for us. It will be more better if we can do same thing for the root cause of rabies. Yeah, true, Maya, we agree with you. So we can also, there are a lot of initiatives that can be taken as part of it. Like even ma'am was also telling, and earlier presenters were also talking about welfare of animals. So maybe in coming days, we will also see what are the various measures that can be taken up towards rabies prevention. That is the first thing is, vaccinating the dog. And second thing is those who are at risk or in contact with dogs, you can also take vaccination once in 6 months so that even if you are in contact with the dog or if you have met with a dog bite, you are safe. So in both ways, the first thing is getting dogs vaccinated, and other way is getting humans also vaccinated against rabies, or even before or after exposure. So it can be preventive, it can be curative. Both aspects we can take it up. So it's a very well presented today. All the three presenters. Hope you have gained a lot of insights. And there are 3 more days, and we can have more presentations. Feel free to come forward. This platform is for you all. Make best use of the opportunity. And the feedback form will be shared in the last day. So you can join on the last day, and it will be also updated on the website. No need to worry. If you miss it, you can visit the same website, and there you can find the Google form, and you can fill the feedback form there. So no need to worry about formalities, but make sure before the closure of conference, within these 4 days, you are completing the formalities. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. We express our heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for joining us. And before you leave, you can fill today's feedback form, which is also in the form of polls. And, because it was accidentally closed, the registration form, we cannot launch the same form. We have given an alternative form for those who have joined late. So now the feedback form is active. So we request everyone to quickly fill the feedback form before you leave the platform. So see you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock with different presentations, and keep spreading this information about the conference from next year onwards. In the month of October, every year we will be having annual conferences on animal welfare. Invite your friends to be part, and this year also they can utilize. 3 more days are there, and share with them and encourage them, motivate them to join, and also make presentations. So thank you once again, everyone. We express our sincere, heartfelt gratitude to all the presenters and participants for your valuable time and efforts making this conference a valuable addition for sharing the knowledge and contributing to the animal welfare. So see you all tomorrow. Before leaving, kindly fill up the feedback form, which has been shared in the form of polls. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. Those who have filled the feedback form can leave the platform. See you all tomorrow. Take care.